Darwinian evolution. Junk science.
Demonic doctrine of death. Nazism. Germany's National Democrat Socialist Party. Well, it kind of started for Germany with this guy, Ernst Haeckel. And he was a winner of the Darwin Wallace Medal Award, another one of the elite. But he was a German. And interestingly, he put forward a doctrine of evolutionary polygenism. Now, what that means is he says the different races sprung up independently from one another. A lot of the evolutionists during that period believed that. And he believed, now I'm quoting, Negroes were savages and that whites were the most civilized. And he compared the African Americans to apes. That was his thinking. Terrible person. Terrible person. Like all these people. You know, you wouldn't even want this man to come to your house for dinner, right? You wouldn't want a person like this even around your family or your kids. All these people are just despicable, disgusting human beings. And you know, they're the most famous people in the scientific circles. Isn't it incredible? These are the elite that we're talking about in the field of science. Well, he is the person that brought these doctrines of Darwinism and eugenics to Germany and popularized these teachings in Germany. And what came out of that? Well, this is all part of something called scientific racism. This is an actual flyer that was handed out in Germany. And I can't read German, you probably can't, but I certainly can recognize a man with a hooked nose, a Jew, and a so-called Aryan beauty, the super race. And it's all about how terrible the lower races are and how great the higher race is. That's what was going on. Dividing up human beings into those considered inferior and those considered superior. Here I have an actual video from that era showing some of the Nazi propaganda conditioning the people to accept what the Nazis had in mind. And it's pretty awful, but I'm going to play it for you.
Alles Lebensschwache geht in der Natur unfehlbar zugrunde. Wir Menschen haben gegen dieses Gesetz der natürlichen Auslese in den letzten Jahrzehnten furchtbar gesündigt. Wir haben unwertes Leben nicht nur erhalten, wir haben ihm auch Vermehrung gewährt. Die Nachkommen dieser Kranken sahen so aus. Erbgesunde Menschen wohnten in engen, lichtlosen Gassen und halb verfallenen Lauben. Idioten und Schwachsinnigen baute man aber Paläste, und diese kranken Menschen waren gar nicht empfänglich für die Schönheit, mit der man sie umgab. Das deutsche Volk kennt das ganze Ausmaß dieses Elends wohl kaum. Es kennt nicht den drückenden Geist jener Häuser, in denen Tausende lallende Schwachsinnige künstlich ernährt und gepflegt werden müssen, die tiefer stehen als jedes Tier. In den letzten 70 Jahren hat sich unser Volk um 50% vermehrt, während die Zahl der Erbkranken im gleichen Zeitraum um 450% gestiegen ist. Wenn diese Entwicklung so weiterliefe, würde schon in 50 Jahren auf 4 gesunde Menschen ein Erbkranker kommen. Ein endloser Zug des Grauens würde in die Nation hineinmarschieren. Maßloses Elend über ein wertvolles Volk kommen, das dann mit Riesenschritten seinem Ende entgegenginge.
So in that video, basically what they're doing is they're justifying eliminating people who are unfortunate, who are disabled, people that they think are somehow going to destroy the evolutionary process of their country. Basically just justification for the thousands and thousands of horrible murders that were done by the Nazi state, and all of it directly coming out of the teaching of Charles Darwin, eugenic theory, and all of that coming from the demonic forces that impelled all that forward. A lot has been written about this. One book, scholarly book about it, is called From Darwin to Hitler, Evolutionary Ethics, Eugenics, and Racism in Germany. And this book shows beyond question that Hitler built his view of ethics on Darwinian principles. And we could see that just from the video, the short video we looked at. But there's a lot more information showing this. And basically, what the book is emphasizing, it's showing how applied Darwinian evolution actually destroys the idea that human life is sacred. You see, in the scriptures, human life is sacred because every person is created in the image of the Creator. And even if we have some defect in our body, in our mind, nevertheless, there is some reflection of the Creator's image in every person, and every person is valuable. Their life is valuable, according to the scriptures. Evolution turns that upside down, and it says what is valuable is the struggle between all the different individuals and races, and death, killing out all the inferior, so that those who are superior can rise up and improve evolution. So it's the opposite idea to the idea that life is sacred. It's an idea that actually encourages killing and death. And where would that idea come from, if not from the demonic forces? Because that's what they want. So when you look at Hitler and you look at Germany, it's so clear that what we actually see in Nazi Germany is Darwinian evolution acted out by the state in all of its horror. As a matter of fact, it's worse than what we'd heard. You know, for a long time it was believed that there were 6 million Jews that were killed, which is a horrendous number of people. And then 6 million other people. Disabled people, people who wouldn't get on with the program, religious people of various kinds, many of them Christians. And that's a very big number. That amounts to 12 million people murdered by the Nazis in the name of Darwinism. But more research has recently been done, and they found out there's a lot more places where people were being exterminated than the ones previously we knew about, really twice as many. So that now it looks like there was more like 20 million people that were killed by the Nazis. 20 million people. Darwinism was responsible for 20 million people being killed by the Nazis. Isn't that an amazing figure? I should mention that from the Roe versus Wade decision to the present, there have been 50 million unborn babies murdered in America. So who's worse, the Nazis or us? When I say us, I don't mean us as individuals, but the country that we're from. That we would actually make that a part of the law. That's what the Nazis did, right? And that's what the eugenics laws were about early in the 20th century. Actually enshrining this doctrine of death so that people could be legally killed. This is a video that I purchased a while back on Amazon. Didn't cost much. Called The Occult History of the Third Reich. I think it's a lot better than a book on the subject because you have actual video showing you the occult practices of the Nazis. Basically, they had a spiritual vision that went along with the evolutionary teaching. A spiritual vision that made their people the elitists, made their people the superior people. And they had strange rituals that went along with that. This was all part of what was fueling the Nazi machine. They even had a Messiah, and his name was Hitler. You know, when you see all those people clicking their heels and sticking out their arm, the reason they're doing that is because they're worshiping their Führer. Darwinism is not the antiseptic, static kind of evolutionary teaching that science wants you to think it is. It's nasty. It's dirty. It comes out of this otherworldly occultism. And there's an agenda behind it, and it's the agenda of demonic spirits, an agenda of death. You can follow it right down through history. And you can see this horrible force involved in it.
video informative? Click the like button below to help spread the word to others. Feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss out on more amazing content from Eliyahu Ben David.